Hello, my name is Andrea Bennett, and I'm going to read to you tonight from Hardy. I am reading to you tonight by candlelight. And I'm reading, Hardy is a book of essays about cooking, eating, and growing food for pleasure and subsistence, and I'll read from an essay that's about making my Nana's chutney for the first time. My Nana's chutney recipe calls for 24 ripe tomatoes, 6 apples, 1 bunch of celery, 3 medium onions, 2 green peppers, 2 red peppers, sugar, vinegar, salt, mustard seeds, cloves, and ginger. I skin the tomatoes after dunking them into boiling water and chop everything into a fine dice. I place the tomatoes, onion, and celery in a colander overnight to drain excess water. The next day, when everything is in the pot and begins to warm, the house fills with a chutney smell, a smell I haven't experienced in years. A smell I can now identify as the result of the recipe's unique combination of green pepper, tomatoes, and cloves. The recipe I have is in my Nana's hand. She wrote a letter to go alongside it, sent several years before the maternal side of my family stopped talking to me. When I wrote the first draft of this essay, I couldn't remember where I was living at the time. Now, the memory has returned. I was living in a Guelph neighborhood called The Ward with 2 bunnies named Acorn and Bigwig. I called her when the recipe arrived in the mail. We talked as I was doing the dishes, and I almost dropped my phone into the sink. The recipe bears my name, Andrea's favorite tomato chutney. After the chutney has cooled, I spoon some onto a piece of cheddar. It is the taste of being in my grandparents' kitchen at lunchtime. It is the clock ticking, the radio turned down but still broadcasting the news. It is the precise feeling of being safe and loved. My child tries it with cheese and crackers. She likes it, and I feel grateful to be able to share something of my Nana with her. Once when I was 9, we visited my grandparents for Christmas in Florida. I remember getting into the car to go home and not being able to say goodbye because I was crying and didn't want to leave. That temporary parting contained the kernel of the larger parting that I understood was to come. I began to hoard time with them. My granddad died when he was 87. I cried for 2 weeks straight and then didn't cry again for nearly 2 years, as if the loss had evaporated a reservoir. But I always felt my Nana would live into her 90s, that she'd be alive alongside me when I was 35, maybe even 40. I never guessed I could lose her earlier in another way. As the distance between us grew, I craved her chutney more fiercely. I'd moved across the country 3 times since she'd sent me the recipe, and I thought I'd lost it. I couldn't exactly call her and ask her to send another copy. Before I found the recipe folded into the pages of an old book, looking for something entirely different I'd also misplaced. I thought I'd never taste it again. Having made it again, I miss my Nana more fiercely, too. I wish I could call her and tell her that I didn't have all the right canning tools, so when I introduced my mason jars to the canning bath, it created a geyser of boiling water. But also that my chutney was a success. It tasted just like hers. That I grew much of the produce I used to make it, as my granddad had for her. That I love her, and that I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry enough to accept the conditions of belonging to this family. That it was her early love, in fact, that helped make me a strong enough person to say no. Thank you.